everyone, I'm Becky,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we were talking about Before I Let Go by Marieke
Nijkamp?
Nijkamp, is that how you say it? And this book is about Corey and Kira, who have been best friends through everything, including Corey's father leaving, Kira's mental illness, and Corey's moving to another country. But when the two girls are living in different countries, they slowly drift apart. Months later, Corey is shocked when she learns Kira has committed suicide and she returns to the small town of Lost, Alaska to uncover the mystery of what happened to her friend. So this is my first book by this author, and I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't read the other one.
I did.
I didn't love it. I really, really, really didn't.
This was very different than her first book. This is where it ends, is about a school shooting, and this one is very different.
I thought this was very slow.
It was slow. It was kind of confusing. And I'm still at the point where, I don't even know how I would classify this book. I don't know. It's not realistic fiction, because when I read the summary, I thought, oh, okay, the previous book was school shooting. This is going to be realistic fiction, Gail Forman kind of I Was Here.
But
that's not what it is.
I don't even know if there's a fantasy aspect to it, though, is there?
Yeah, but there is.
I don't
because
know.
of the girls' paintings.
But
Kira's paintings, foretold, potentially, the future.
But I thought that was supposed to also, you could make the argument that they were just doing what was in the paintings because it gave them hope.
Well, no, because with the one painting, it came to pass before they even knew that she was painting the future.
Right.
I don't know. So
that's kind of a spoiler.
But that's the difficulty in classifying this book. Is it magical realism? Is it fantasy? It's not realistic fiction, I don't think, but it could be, I guess.
And I didn't really think the mystery was all that great. I thought it was kind of I remember I told you, I saw you and I'd read 45 pages and I'm like, I think this is what happened, and it's basically what happened.
Yeah, and I don't know. And I kind of also wonder so Kira has been diagnosed with bipolar, and originally that's kind of why the town rejects her, but then ultimately it's possible that that's why they kind of accept her. And I'm just kind of interested to see how the mental health community will deal with this novel.
Yeah.
Though, I don't know. I just don't... It just wasn't all developed. It wasn't fused together, I think, is the problem.
Well, and the main character...
Because I still don't know... I read the book. I know what happened. I just don't think it all connects, and it doesn't make sense.
And maybe it's because we had an arc, but the main character is... Did they actually come out and say she's asexual, or do they just...
Yeah, they did. Because there was,
just implied.
No, there was a paragraph where they, go and research it on the internet.
But I feel like that was, maybe, 10 pages, and then they never mentioned it again, and I felt like it was almost... it was thrown in there just so they could say, oh, well, we're talking about this.
It certainly could have been integrated better, but it certainly directed kind of the relationship between the two girls, because you're always fluctuating between, are they best friends, are they girlfriends, what's going on here? However, I also appreciated the fact that this isn't a book about asexuality. It's a book about this murder mystery with a character who so happens to be asexual.
And but I think that you have to be very careful when you do stuff like that, because Sean David Hutchinson in his the 5 Lives of Andrew, what was it called? It's such a good book. That was a book about a boy going through things who happened to also be dealing with his sexuality, and he does it so well where he tells these stories and that's just part of the characters. He doesn't always necessarily put a spotlight on it, and I feel that with the asexuality books that they're always putting a spotlight on it and nobody's doing it particularly well.
I can agree with that. Nobody has done asexuality particularly well. It's very clunky. It's not well integrated into the story, and it's more just a PSA on asexuality.
Right. And that's kind of what this one felt like. And the characters didn't really feel developed beyond what they just kind of throw at you in certain little moments.
But I did think that some of the legends in there, some of the kind of stories within a story, I thought were interesting. They seemed kind of beautiful. I enjoyed them. Because this book really felt like an M. Night Shyamalan book. And I feel it was all kind of very confusing and disjointed, but I don't know, but there was a certain kind of beauty to it. It was beautiful. I think it could have been more developed and better integrated.
We should just rate it.
All right. So, our rating scale, you want me to rock that out?
I think I should.
Okay. So, our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. And if it was Poopy. It is a horse. So, where are you at?
I'm at like a 2.5, and I don't know if I want to go up to a 3 or down to a 2.
I'm at a 3 because I really did like Kira collects all those legends, and I thought the legends were interesting. I thought the stories of the town and the stories were interesting. I think the actual plot was weird, but the stories were interesting.
And that is where we are, and Before I Let Go by Marieke
Nijkamp.
Nijkamp.